Love all you folks. Okay, so it's 7:31. I'd like to be timely, and what I would like to do is welcome you to I am Kelly Kennedy. I am the Lymph Queen, and I'm a licensed massage therapist, a medical intuitive, biological investigator, lymph node release technical specialist, and you're all around fun girl that likes to help you feel truly free in this world in which we live. And I have my two teammates with me tonight, as typical on our workshops. We have Genevieve Greco. Genevieve.
Hi, Rebecca.
Genevieve is one of our clinical specialists as well, and she's vast in all things regulation and physiology as well. She's been with our team for over 10 years. And Sarah Mortman, raise your hand. Sarah's been with our team for over 5 years, and she is a clinician with me as well and does hands-on body work like I do. And we know probably more about the lymph and this lymphatic system than most people you've ever met in your life. And we think that is just a darn shame, because we know that when you know about the lymph, there's really not a symptom, there's not a disease, or nothing that happens in the world physically or emotionally that you don't understand and know how to move through. Does anybody else feel like that right now in your life, where you know no matter what happens, you know what to do and where to go? I'm going to guess not, because that's why you're here. And I'm going to guess that tonight you're here, and correct me if you're wrong. I would love for you to actually to acknowledge this in the chat. Just tell me that you're here for the right reason tonight. You're here because you want to learn more about lymph system. Is that a yes? Either give me a yay or a thumbs up. You're here because you want to learn more about the lymph system. Yay. Ooh, wow, that was a fancy thumbs up. It's like multiple thumbs ups. Excellent. Okay. And I'm also going to ask that the other reason you're here is because something you're already doing, or you're doing a lot of things that isn't quite getting you the result you want in your life. Maybe you still have symptoms you deal with, or you're more limited than you want to be, or you don't feel as good as you should. Is that also true? Okay, good. Great. Then I'm talking to the right group. And the third question I'm going to ask you is, you're wondering whether or not you want to learn that from me, or learn more about it from me. Maybe you've seen my podcast, or maybe you've seen my manual lymph drainage, but you're like, I don't know if this girl is really that good, and I'm going to sign into her workshop for a few minutes and see if that's really that true, and if she's really that authentic and that real. Yeah? Is that also true? Great. Listen, here's what I want to say. I might not be everybody's cup of tea flavor, I might be black tea and you like Earl Grey, or whatever the case may be. But your lymph system is for everybody, and please work with somebody in regards to your lymph system, because it is the key to everything you've ever wanted in your life. And as I share these slides tonight, as I go through this presentation, know that I could answer any question you have about your health and help you navigate it, and then give you the tools to help you continue to work it at home. Because today, as I am here with you all on January 5th of 2026, please know that the new healthcare is self-care. And there is not enough time and energy in the world for you to go to somebody else's office and get well. You must learn how your body works, and that is through your lymphatic system. It is your portal to how all of this actually heals instead of fighting disease. And that's the other thing I'd love for you to reframe tonight, is that I will not fight disease. There's way too many to fight anyway. My gosh, I'd have to be a really trained soldier to learn all the different diseases to be up against. But I know a lot about language, both the verbal language and the emotional language and the language of the body. And the symptoms are the language of the body. And there's not a symptom that your body has that is a mistake. There's not a broken body amongst you. And myself and my team, with the practice that we will be talking about tonight, that I am here to sell you and engaging in with us, is going to allow you that exact rule book, or the guidebook, or what I always said, who wrote the book to teach us how to take care of our body? Well, because nobody else did, I finally did. And it's known as the 21-day Lymphatic System Breakthrough practice. And it is a practice. And it is about learning not just what this lymph system is, but how to engage it, what the symptoms mean, so that no matter what happens as you move through your life, you've got something that you can go back to and you can continue through your journey, because life is going to keep happening and you want to be able to feel free no matter what happens. That's the key, right? Feeling free no matter what happens, right? Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to share my slides. Okay. So this is the workshop. That's me using the flow vibe. I love the young woman who mentioned earlier that she's got the flow vibe 1 and 2 hanging around her house with her teenage kids. I have a 12-year-old boy. It's a very precarious little tool, and we love it because it creates a lot of conversation, but it also is very effective because vibration does work. Symptoms are what I really want to start with talking about tonight, because I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story for those who don't know my story and how I got here. But the reason that you're all here is, one, because, and the reason I got to this point is because I had pain in my body. How many of you have pain in your body? Give me a thumbs up or something in the chat that indicates that that's what you're dealing with. Or give me a B if it's brain fog. Or an A if it's allergies or allergic reactions that you can't get your head over. Digestive issues that come and go all the time. Give me a D. A P if it's parasites. Blood work, BW, if you let everything in my blood work looks great, but I feel like crap. Swelling and you can't detoxify. You have anxiety or mood swings. Give me an M for mood swings. You feel worse when you detoxify. Did you realize that these are all symptoms that your lymph system is overburdened? Because a headache doesn't mean you have a brain problem, and a rash doesn't mean you have a skin problem. Digestive system issues doesn't mean you necessarily have a digestive system issue. Pain doesn't mean just because you damaged your toe with an injury, the fact that you're still in pain 3 years later means you didn't heal properly. Sleep issues isn't necessarily because you have a melatonin deficiency, is it, Genevieve? It could be, but more than likely it's not. It's because your rain barrel's full, because part of the circulatory system, which is known as your lymphatic system, which is your waste, but it's also your fluid balancer, and it's also your 50% of your lymph is in your gut, so it has a lot to do with your digestion. It's a lot to do with your immune system. This system is taxed because of our environment. This isn't new information. We all know why we need the lymph, correct? We all know that we live in a toxic world, and this isn't new news. Microplastics are a problem. Pharmaceuticals don't work. The water is toxic. The clothes that we're often wearing are toxic. You know, there's a lot of things going on in our environment, but the symptoms of the body are telling us that we're full, we're at capacity, our trash is overflowing. And most people want to chase these symptoms. They want to give them probiotics and digestive enzymes, which I'm not saying those don't work. I'm just saying that's one part of the equation, is the physical body. If you have a headache, maybe, more than likely, the number one reason for headaches is dehydration. The number one reason for illness is dehydration. The number one reason for a problem with your lymphatic system is dehydration, because it's your water of the body. It's your body water. How many of you knew, I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I want to look in the chat. How many of you knew that you have 3 times more lymphatic fluid in your body than you do blood? Give me a Y if you knew that, or a thumbs up. And yet, isn't it crazy that the only thing we know, and thank God we know it now, that there's some lymph nodes we need to open and some dry brushing maybe we need to do. But if we did it the other way, it didn't really work, and so we're trying to find the way that works effectively, and that's why you're here. Did you know that there is not a part of your body that isn't affected by your lymphatic system? I got one for you. Give me a yes if you knew this, or an N if you didn't. Did you know that you cannot live for 1 minute without your lymphatic system? Not 1 minute. and that the breath, the lymph, and the movement of that body, that is the destination. How many of you have ever heard, oh, enjoy the journey? Yeah? Enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey. What's the destination? Anybody know what the destination is? Anybody got an answer? What's death, heaven? How about this physical body right now here on this earth? That is your destination. I am not here to quabble with your spiritual religious beliefs. Here's what I'm going to say, though. Could we all agree that we are physical beings? Yes, but we are divine beings having a physical experience. And if that's true, then the journey was to get here to live life, and the vessel you're living it in is your destination, is this vessel known as the label of whatever name you are. And taking care of this vessel is the key, and 90% of it is your lymphatic system, the water. And it's full of crap, and we want to teach you how to get into it and mobilize it and move it so that these symptoms that are overflowing, that are showing that your lymph system is overflowing, start to dissipate, which I'm sure, I think it was Lisa when we first signed in, she started working with the lymph system and stuff that I started to teach her through somebody else's program that she was in. And just in a short few weeks or months, people start to notice huge shifts, which we're going to share with you in this 21-day practice. We have people that, whether they're 75, they've been knowing what I do for 12 years, but when they put this 21-day, the way we laid it out and the accountability with the assessments, it's changing their lives and it's giving them more freedom than they ever thought possible, let alone getting rid of the arm puffs and the knee puffs and the ankle puffs and all the puffs all over the body instead of the pits all over the body. And it really is a practice. It's not a pill. So a lot of people are living in a tank that's full of dirty water. And then they're adding things to the tank. You know, they're adding probiotics, adding enzymes, adding protocols, adding other things. And actually, we're probably more minimalist, you know, subtractors than we are adders. We want to change the water and watch the fish jump from the dirty water to the fresh water, because that's where we want to live. That's the destination, if you will. And your life force, your divinity, wants to get rid of all the debris and live in a beautiful promised land, as we were told. And all we have to do is change the water through the filtration, through lymph node release in a very effective way that doesn't cost us 2 hours a day of action. Takes 10 minutes a day. But as we get practiced at it, as we start to open it up, it also becomes Pandora's box. Because all that crap you thought you avoided, you can't avoid anything. It went down into your tank, and it's got your fishbowl, and it's got to come out of your fishbowl as you open up your lymph. It might be your toxicant, it might be your pathogen, it might be your emotional crap that you stuffed down there. And as you start to open up your lymph, as you start to move the stuff that hasn't moved, that's been stagnant in that lymphatic system, now you've got to be a little bit more skilled to navigate through what to do about those things that show up and how to support the body to continue to go through that process, so you don't get halfway through and go, I don't want to do this anymore. Because there's only one way out. There's only one way to wellness, and that is pulling the weeds. That's facing the crap. That's decluttering. That's doing the actual action. I can't expect my teeth to be clean if I don't clean them. I can't expect my lymph to be clean if I don't clean it. And to the very far left, well, my left, I guess it's your left too, is a picture from me from 1997. That's 3 years after a car accident that I almost died in, and about 6 months before I found and had a spontaneous healing in 1996. That's how this all started for me. I was raised in a beautiful family that loved me dearly. And the bottom line was, while they loved me and they shared as much love as they could with me, my father had a chronic illness. He had Hodgkin's disease. He got sick multiple times with cancer. And I was living, in a life, in a childhood going, oh my God, am I going to get it? And if I get it, how do I not die from it? And how do I not go through chemo and radiation? How many of you have ever felt like that, particularly in the last 5 years? About anything. It's not a fun way to live. Can we agree with that? Feeling like what? A victim. How many of you have ever felt like a victim with your health care? Like there's no way out, that nobody listens to you, that you're making it up, that it's in your head. And it's their lack of understanding how the body works, their lack of training in the system that actually affects every other system that's 90% of your body, which is the lymphatic fluid. And it's the effective, efficient way to do that, because running a clinical practice, seeing clients from all over the world that are the sickest of the sickest, as we have for 20 years, you get really effective and efficient at how to open that up and how to keep it open. It's not that it opens, it's how to keep it open. And then how to continue to let the body dribble it open so that you are going through that journey of wellness right to your promised land, one step at a time, at your pace. And it is no race. This is about you learning this practice and getting good at it, and learning how to unwind the things that show up with the movement, with the emotions, with the breath practice each week as we build you through this to teach you how to take care of this body, this destiny you've been given, this destination you've been given, and how to help you teach your little ones, your family members, your husbands, your sisters, and your brothers, and have them join you in this home that you live in and do this care with you, because this is a family event. Healing is fun. Healing is fun and light and enthusiastic and makes huge transformations when you do it right. Because this is me in 1997 and this is me in 2025. 28 years later, do I really look older or do I look younger? Okay. I'm not looking for kudos there. I'm just looking for this literally works. So what does lymphatic system what does that really look like? Who right now currently, raise your hand if you currently practice anything with the lymphatic system? I see a lot of yeses earlier, by the way. I love all this. Good. I look taller. I am taller. Thank you for noticing. So good. You have a lymphatic practice already. Great. So a couple don't, but most do. So I am then going to assume that what you're wanting to do then is go a little deeper with your lymphatic practice. You don't want to just stay at that surface level. You want to get down into it, and you want to know when to use it and how to go past, so that you're not just maintenance at whatever symptoms you got rid of, that you're actually getting to the root cause and getting rid of the thing that's causing you to hold on to, whether that's physical or emotional. Is that true? Yes? Looks like I'm getting some definite agreements there. Okay. So I'm going to, Genevieve and Sarah have worked with me for a long time, and I'm going to, what? Can you guys see? It says I'm sharing, but I don't see that I'm sharing. I'm going to stop share and start share again. Hold on. And in this question, there we go. What does it look like? What does lymphatic system really look like? I'm going to ask them a question that they have no idea that I'm going to ask them this question, because, we haven't seen each other in weeks, actually. So, Genevieve, you've been working with me for about 12 years, 11 years, 10 years, something like that. When you met me, did you know anything about the lymphatic system?
Not at all. No.
And what is your educational background, ma'am?
I have my master's in nutrition, and many years working in the alternative wellness world, supplement industry, Whole Foods nutritionist, online consulting, all the things.
And On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being nothing, 10 being everything, how much do you feel like you know about the lymphatic system today?
I feel like I'm at a 9. I mean, in terms of my knowledge behind it, I'm gonna be honest and throw myself under the bus. As much as I know about it, I don't practice um, as much lymphatic support as I sh know I should. But yeah,
Is it
growing,
do you practice more today than you did 2 years ago?
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like growing up, and even in school, you learn like, oh, the lymph is like associated lymph nodes. They're swollen because you're sick. It's like the immune system. So it wasn't until really diving deep at True Wellness that I was like, oh my gosh, you
I
know.
think the thing with Genevieve is this, like, she worked part-time with us and was very knowledgeable about everything for about 8 years, and then 2.5 years ago started working with us full-time. And I would say prior to 2.5 years ago, I'm going to throw her under the bus, that she didn't do any lymph care at all, but she talked about it. And now for her own personal care, she actually does a lot of lymph system. And the difference of you consulting with clients now versus then, how much do you talk about the lymph now versus even 3 years ago?
No, it's foundational. It's as you often say, I love this quote of yours. You brush your teeth hopefully twice a day. You should pump your lymph twice a day, and whether that's manual with the Flow Vibe or some other special tool, just the basics, And I tell people all the time, just set a reminder next to your toothbrush. It's one of the easiest ways that you can get things moving and flowing for the day and right before bed. So.
And the habits that you create, I don't love the word habits, but the habitual practice that we instill and the accountability through the 21 day is why it, works, because you get into that nature. Thank you, Genevieve. And Sarah, for you, I know what is your background in education, and how did you come to True Wellness as a certified what?
Yoga teacher.
Did you know anything about the lymph system before you got to me?
Only in the context of learning that when you do inversions and like go upside down, that drains your lymph because it like flips your water upside down, but that was it.
And if the person being Sarah, who when I had to go get her in my waiting room when she was a client for 3 years prior to the last 5.5 years of working with us, was literally on her hands upside down. If inversion was the way to open up your lymph, would your lymph already been open before you met me?
It should have been. I spent most of my time upside down.
So that wasn't enough, was it?
No.
So what working the lymphatic system practice, has it changed drastically? And I'm leading you obviously with this question, but has it changed drastically your perspective, even though you thought you knew a little bit about the lymph coming as from a yoga world versus somebody that was like more academia nutritionist?
Yeah, absolutely. The level that you have to work the lymph for it to be effective was the biggest difference in understanding.
Yeah. And, the sequence that we teach as well, and the way we break down this 21 days is the key to get you through the scenario. I found this picture of me earlier and I just giggled and I had to add it to the thing because there's something about this picture that just makes me go, So what do you all do when you get a symptom? Do you panic? Who panics when you get a symptom? Who worries? Who stresses? What's the first, give me your first, you get a symptom. What is that symptom? It's a headache, it's brain fog, it's bloating, it's gas, it's sleep issues, it's a hot flash, it's knee pain, it's anxiety. What do you do? I research. Good. I worry. I stress. I don't say good. Research it's all good. There's no judgments. Good for answering. Thank you for answering is what I meant to say. I worry. It's inconvenient. What is this one? Symptoms my whole life. Just live with it. So imagine a world when you have a symptom that you knew exactly what to do, because the symptom isn't the enemy. The symptom is actually the language. And again, they're not your failures. They're not your mistakes. It's not your body making a mistake. It's not your body failing you. It's your body trying to get your attention. It's the secret language of your body. And your lymph system is actually the translator. And I know how to translate it. And we've given you guidebooks to translate this language. And the healing is not just the absence of your symptoms. I want you to be aware of that as well. Getting rid of your symptoms is just part of your healing process. The healing actually is so much more than just symptom relief. And it's also, the healing is understanding why your body responds the way it does. And then watching, like an investigator, like I said earlier, I'm a medical intuitive biological investigator, and I teach other people how to do the same thing for your own healthcare, because self-care is the new healthcare. And it's about learning why your body's responding the way it is and using the level of intelligence to not suppress anymore, but ask the body to express, and then stop the behavior and go through this, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, through the drainage and the expression to get the true relief. Because working your lymph system is definitely dry brushing, and it's definitely lymph node release. Driving your car is definitely using your steering wheel. It's a lot more than just your steering wheel, but it's using your steering wheel. Lymph system is definitely using your lymph nodes and dry brushing. It's a lot more than just your lymph nodes and your dry brushing too. But if you silence those symptoms, or you avoid, I can tell you right now, you can't avoid symptoms. You can't avoid your problems. You can bury them, and then they will show up at some point as disease and illness. And then you're going to end up back right where you are right now, trying to figure out how your body works. Or you can do it before you get to that point, and you can go, wow, let me really look at this lymph system. Because what's it really worth to know what to do, when to do it, how to support your body through whatever it's going through. And I'm saying even scary symptoms, like your whole body starts to have a full body tremor. That's okay. Your body goes into what looks like, outside of an anaphylactic shock, outside of that, if your body's going through some kind of symptomology, then we're here to help you understand it and facilitate it and relieve it from the core issue, so you don't keep repeating that same pattern over and over again. Because how we continue to move forward in our life feeling free, no matter what environment we find ourselves in outside of our body, it's the environment inside that matters. This is all an inside job. Everything we do is an inside job. And it's really helping you with that inside job through the practice of the 21-day lymphatic system breakthrough. I know there's 4 stages of learning. Do y'all know about the 4 stages of learning? Give me a Y if you know about the 4 stages of learning, and an N if you don't, because I don't want to go through it if you already know about it. Okay. Oh, wow. A lot of no's. Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you. Okay. All right. I will explain the 4 stages of learning. So whenever we go through anything in our life that we don't know how to do, we go through these 4 stages. Whether it's riding a bike, learning how to draw something, use a computer, a phone. I don't know, maybe there's 27 stages with your phone, maybe not, just 4, just kidding. But the 4 stages of learning are this. 1, I'm unconsciously incompetent. I don't know what I don't know. I'm 4 years old. I don't know how to drive a car. I think I'm cool because I got these cars in my, house, but actually how to drive a car, I don't really know. I don't really know what I don't know. By the time I'm 10, I start to know that I don't know how to drive a car. Because now I get behind a big wheel that's got a little action behind it. I have a 12-year-old kid. So I remember when he was like 6 or 7, we got him a little automated thing that was electric. And when he hit it went boom. And he was like, whoa, because it wasn't just moving his feet along. It was like, whoa, I didn't know that actually had speed. Yeah, it looks really cool. So then you become, I don't know what I don't know. Then I do know that I don't know how to drive a car. I become consciously incompetent. Then I become consciously competent. I can really do it if I think about it. You know, we're 16, we're learning how to drive a car, and we're like, if I think about it, I can do it. Those of us who drove stick shift, you know, you got 4 things to do versus an automatic. And then we become 4th stage, unconsciously competent. I can drive a car and eat and talk on the phone and do all the things and not even think about it. Go back to the 4-year-old that didn't know what they didn't know. Now I'm 24. I know everything, supposedly. And I can just eat my food and drive my car and all the things. So those are the 4 stages we go through. So a lot of people didn't know anything about the lymph system. Maybe 5 years ago was the first time you ever heard about the lymph system. Then you start to go, wow, I really don't know a lot about this system that really is connected to every other system. It's my immune system. It's my fluid balance. It mobilizes my nutrients and my gases. It's involved in my recovery of my injuries and my illnesses. It is allowing me to have proper breath and movement, it being strangled by my fascia if I have scars. Like, wow, it has so much to do. I can't live for 1 minute without my lymph system. It's the water of my body. I have 3 times more of it than blood. Wow. Now I'm starting to know that I don't know a lot about that system. The more I engage with it and the more I pump it and the more I get through it, I'm like consciously thinking about it. We want to help you get to stage 4, which is, oh, I know what to do when I get a symptom. I pump my lymph. I move it out. I exhale it out. I go through the transformation of the 21-day and do my step-by-step process when I have a symptom of exactly what I need to do so that no matter what happens, I no longer take that illness in and I express it out. And I'm freer today than I was 5 minutes ago, no matter what, because I have these tools. Those are the 4 stages of learning. And the thing about the 4 stages of learning is when I created the 21-day lymphatic breakthrough, which I took about 3 or 4 months to do this last summer, and this is our 3rd launch of it. We've had massive success. 80% of the people that do this or better have ridiculous, huge shifts in their life. Because this isn't new for me. This is a formula that I absolutely know if you apply this, you will get the results. There is no question. I don't care if what color your skin is, how old you are, if you're a man or a woman. I don't care what your sexual preference is. Your body works the same as everybody else's body. And all we need to do is assess it, help you engage the lymph and breath, which is week 1, by engaging the nervous system, helping drain the swamp, so to speak. Week 2 is about lymph and movement, or your lymph and your fascia. If you don't know about fascia, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to fall down. And we gently walk you at your pace so you don't get overwhelmed. And we layer each week in so you are going at your pace. And then at week 3, we really deal with the emotions, because that's Pandora's box. We are emotional beings more than we are thinking beings. And the lymphatics is about the emotional body. And we support you all the way, not only with our checklist and our guides, but with 4 live calls, with portal access to all the emails, in addition to the 2 emails you get a day, but portal access to all the things that you need, videos from Sarah and I each day, hand holding you through the practice. And you get an access to our forum, which is our online membership group at the end of the 21 days. Plus, the access to the portal is for 365 days, because this is about the 4 stages of learning. Because your transformation, your freedom, is going from your fear of your symptom to learning what your symptom is trying to teach you, learning what that language of your body is trying to teach you, diving in, doing the inside work, releasing your body from that pattern, and moving forward 1 step at a time, 1 little gem at a time in this treasure of your destination known as your body. There's a lot of myths to healing that I want to get right out of the way. You don't have to get worse before you get better. Nothing is random. Pain is not bad. Symptoms aren't bad, and discomfort isn't bad. There's nothing bad or good. Nothing to be judged. It's just information. The reality of healing is that anything can cause anything. And again, that those symptoms are your language. So I'm going to run through some quick testimonials of some folks that have done this 21-day with us. And this is a beautiful 75-year-old woman who had a myriad of really detrimental things that she was dealing with. And in 21 days, she felt 20 years younger, and what she was told that would never resolve, which was some fibrotic tissue that she was told irreversible, has started to completely fade away. Another woman who's very versed in this world, who was already in her practice quite well, just felt way more chill and more focused and much more into her self-care. This is about loving ourselves as well. Another woman found the accountability of this program was one gift that she gave to herself alone, but it also alleviated a huge amount of her back pain. Another man, this was a gentleman who's in his late 70s. He's experienced less brain fog. What is the cost? What is the price of that? This was a woman who's sharing a piece of our practice with her whole family, and it's really engaging her body, and she's feeling so evolved and changed from this experience. And the majority of people experience what the last woman here mentions, which is I'm sleeping better, I'm more calm, I have more energy, I'm grounded, tons of shifts, and tons of movement. You'll be held with the assessments before and after, with guidebooks and checklists, with daily lymph moves in your email. Again, all the portal access with all the resources, and 4 live calls, because as we know, as you go through the process, we want to help you one by one know what's going on. And as you do that in a group, as we hot seat you, as you share with us what's going on, it's beneficial for the entire group. The dates are January 26th to February 16th. And it costs $3,333 because that's what it should cost. But of course, that's not what I'm charging. I just freaked out Genevieve and Sarah tremendously. But honestly, this is what I wanted to charge when I first put it together. Because that's its value. Because when you do this and you invest in this, you have this tool for the rest of your life. And I am literally teaching you everything you need. And now if you want to go further, you want to advance your life, you want to go really intense, sure, you can come here and do immersions with us like we do at our center. But when you have this toolkit, you don't need us. But we're making it available to you for $647, not for $3,333. And I'm not kidding, that's what I should really charge. But I will be charging $777. But right now this week, you can get it for $647. So now is the time to invest in yourself. This is for your entire household. And I know it's an investment. I know $647, it's after the holidays, it's the beginning of the year, the economy. You can come up with 1,000 excuses. But I also know you've invested in other things in your life that haven't turned into an investment as this is for you. This isn't about a cost. This is about learning a skill set that rewards will benefit you forever. Your lymph system is the most underrated system, and you're investing not even $700 to learn everything about it and actionable steps, and you have access to it for a year for you and your whole family. What are you waiting for? Because the price is just going to go up. And it's also time for you to make that decision to go, okay, I've done all the things and now I want to feel different. And I'm going to learn when to do it and how to do it and go through the step-by-step process so that I don't have a guessing game. I just want to know what the formula is. You know, when I had that spontaneous healing and I asked that practitioner, what'd you do? And he said it was energy. And I said, well, how do I make sure it doesn't come back? And he was like, B. What are you talking about? It was 1996. And now today, here is the step-by-step guide, handheld by myself and Sarah and Genevieve and my husband, Ian, all to give you access to your inner healer in a way that you've never experienced before, with everything that we apply at our clinical practice in an organized way that allows you to walk through it like a labyrinth at whatever layer and level you want. So, there we go. Some of the questions we get, and then I'm going to take some of your questions. I'm spread too thin already. How can I do this? That's actually why you should do this, because you're spread too thin, and this is the actionable practice you can do to put you in a state of relaxation, to give you space to allow you to take more information on. Same kind of thing. I'm overwhelmed. I have so much going on. Maybe later would be better. You can put off. I would highly recommend making this your priority if you're overwhelmed, because your system's overwhelmed, and that's what we need to release to give you the space again, which is what the lymphatic system does. How can you get the family to participate? Start getting your chin back, and they'll want to participate. Lead by example. I've done lymph before. Do I still need to do it? Lymph isn't done for a season, as I was saying before. We started, actually, a few of us got here early and we were just chatting. Lymph isn't done as a season. Lymph is done every single day for the rest of your life. And because of the soup we live in, full of toxins and pathogens and all the things that are thrown at us in 2025, it needs to be the primary thing we focus on for our own health care and self-care. If you want to detox, the only thing you can do is open up your drainage, for sure, which is lymph. And I always buy programs and never do them. And if that is you, then I want to know personally when you register, so we make sure that you show up at our Q&As. And if the time of our Q&As doesn't work, then, because you might be in a different time zone, I want to make sure that you have accountability from one of us, because this is all about your accountability. This is all about assuring that you're being walked through this process so that it is part of you after this 21 days and will always be a part of you. Just like you're all in my heart. And there's only 3 rules. You have to get started. Genevieve will put the link. That's how you get started. Register, commit, pull your credit card out of your pocket, sign up, spend $647 on yourself and your family. Step 2, pay attention to everything we say and just follow along. Don't question it, just do it. And then don't ever quit. Until you transform out of this destination, that's when you can quit doing lymph, because that's when you no longer will need to do your lymph. That's it. That's my before and after picture, just to kind of reiterate that one more time, to just say, the Benjamin Button, you can get younger, longevity, and increasing your ability to heal is all an inside job. And the vibrancy, the life force, is what heals us. And the way to access it is through the lymph system. The symptoms are trying to drive you to the system. And I'm the lymph queen, ready to walk you down the path. So who's joining us? Who's already joined us? Who's ready to go? And who has a question or two that I can answer to help you make the decision about what you need from me to help you make that next step?
There's a question from Nancy Esposito that I can read.
Go for it.
So she says, the lymph system is mostly new to me, second stage of learning. What characteristics of the lymphatic system make it more dependent on manual support than some of the other physiological systems?
Great question, Nancy. So your lymphatic system doesn't have its own pump. I'm going to put myself in spotlight for a second. I think I can. So your lymph system doesn't have its own pumping system. We know supposedly that and I say supposedly because I could do a whole segment on the heart doesn't have a pump either, but that's a whole nother story.
It doesn't have a pump system.
But the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, so it only moves when we move. And often we, first of all, have a sedentary lifestyle. We wear tight-fitting clothes. We eat things that thicken it, like cow dairy and too much protein. We dehydrate it. Wi-Fi slows it down. And so by the nature of what we've done as human beings, our lymphatics are stagnant. When we walked all over the place and we walked up and down hills and we carried things and we were active all day, our lymph system wasn't nearly as stagnant. we got sedentary, and then we added all these additional stressors like Wi-Fi that contributed to it. Then we sat in chairs that contributed to it as well. So I call it the human cage. And the human cage, while it's a beautiful destination, because of the lifestyle that we tend to live in indoors, in houses, on seats, and sedentary with tight-fitting clothes that aren't natural, and breathing in non-natural air and non-natural light is being exposed to us, that is actually slowing down the vibration of our lymphatic system, because it is a natural water wind system, if you will. And just like any ecosystem, if it doesn't get exposed to nature, then it doesn't have its own cleaning system, so to speak. And when we're indoors, we're constantly in our cage. So if we lived outdoors, maybe we wouldn't need as much lymphatic work as we need. But if we live indoors, we absolutely need more lymphatic system pumping. And the dry brushing and just gentle movement isn't as effective as maybe it was even 50 years ago, because of the amount of scarring that is on the body and fascia adhesions from tension, chronic tension, again, from Wi-Fi, which we can't really get away from, and from chronic stress, the mental health crisis that's going on is really from the chronic stress that's really been exacerbated since COVID-19. Did that answer your question, Nancy?
I can't tell if she's still on.
Okay.
But I have another question from Dorothy Morgan. She said it seems like she was in a car accident, 118 bones broken, right leg is the worst. She can barely walk, little flexibility. Can I do this?
God bless you, and yes, you can. Wow, 118 bones, sister. Listen, I've worked with people that are quadriplegics that can do this. If you're breathing, you can do this. And I would highly recommend you have to do this if you have 118 bones broken. God bless you. I've only broken 7 bones in my body, different times. And it was because of everything that I'm teaching you that I'm an able-bodied person today without limitations. I have a little limitation right now in my left big toe because I broke it 10 days ago on a step. But it's getting better. I mean, I was going to show my girls, like, look at me. I'm using my big toe. And I will say it doesn't feel great. Like, I can feel that as I do that. But it's not like black and blue and purple and 14 colors like it was for 14 days. Or for 8 days. So to the woman with 118 bones broken, yes, do this. Yes, start with your breath. And go at the pace, especially in week 1. Lymph and breath is going to be the key to you engaging that inner healer. And you've got a path in front of you, but it's doable. God bless you. So happy you survived from that horrible car accident.
All right. Jason Perkins asked how to flush out the lymphatic system.
So great question. So Jason is talking about the glymphatics, which is about your brain lymph. So many anatomists have identified the lymph as sections. They call it the mucosa-aligned lymphatic tissue. That's called MALT. GALT is the gut-associated lymphatic tissue. GALT. Then they have glymphatics because glial cells in the brain and the cells around it, the lymph, they call it the glial cells. For me, it's all one system, but here's the point. We live on gravity. And so everybody wants the head to drain. But the head won't drain until the neck drains, and the neck won't drain until the body drains. And 75% of your body drains in your left thoracic. And then 25% drains in your right thoracic. So you must drain the whole body, then drain the neck before the brain drains, the glymphatics. So while we're doing week 1, week 2, and week 3 of the 21-day lymphatic breakthrough, when you get to week 2, you also have to address your scars, which will block the lymph from working at all, whether it's your lymphatics or not, so that when you get to the movement and full movement of week 2, you're going to be, you've already opened up your body and your neck. Now you're opening up your head, and you've opened up the scar, so there's no blockades, so that now all the emotional stuff can come up, because that's the real fun stuff for week 3, because we're more emotional beings than we are physical beings. I know everybody loves my new jeans. I love my new jeans. They have angel wings on the butts. Okay. Next question.
All right. There's another question. I'm just quickly going to just give love. Lily Weckerly is giving us so much love in the chat, and she did the program, and it's really, she's just like she had quite a transformation. So I just want to say I appreciate you, Lily, because you're really showering us with love, and we're very grateful.
Thank you, Lily.
Sue Milheim says, how much would this help someone with Hashimoto's?
So I've done a lot of work with clients for years over Hashimoto's. It's a, what do they call it, Genevieve? I can't think of it. Autoimmune disease. So that's a whole thing you'll hear me talk a lot about. That your body doesn't fight itself. You don't have an autoimmune disease. That's their way to explain what's happening in your body. Do we get rid of Hashimoto's altogether? I've not seen that as much, mostly because people's compliance and diligence, but you can turn anything around if you choose to. And absolutely, this will reduce the inflammation in your body to allow your numbers, your ANAs, to come down, and you can continue to reverse it the more work you do. But I would honestly say, to completely reverse Hashimoto's, you'd have to work with a one-on-one practitioner, or you have to be super compliant and diligent and just follow this along like it is your Bible, so to speak.
Kathleen Buffington said, do you address nutrition?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a 21-day lymphatic breakthrough. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody. I'd like to give a lot of information, and my team helps calm me down for not giving you too much information all at once, because then you kind of get nauseous and sick and can't follow me. It's true. It's true. So we give a little bit of nutritional information, but when you are ready for, like, hey, I want to go a deep dive and I want to learn more about nutrition, there is nobody better in the world than Genevieve Greco to help you understand physiologically what you should be eating and regulation-wise what you should be eating to give your body all that it needs. But I will tell you, the biggest element you need for nutrition is what nobody thinks about, and it's oxygen. And week 1 is about allowing your body to get into the parasympathetic and get oxygen. And when your body's in receiving mode, no matter what you eat, you will absorb more of, because it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. So that's why it was a yes and no.
All right.
I want to read Liz's. Hold on. I'm interrupting you. Liz says, Kelly and Sarah, such inspirational team. I use the replays every day, having finished the program. The forum, the WhatsApp, the content on 21-day breakthrough give you plenty of options to get educated and making it a part of your life. Bam! From Liz. Okay, go ahead. I can't skip that, love.
Kayleen Clute and also Elizabeth V asked similar questions, which is, are there tools needed for this? Elizabeth had said, since she's in Canada, she can't get the flow vibe, and should she not do the program if she can't get the flow vibe?
No, it's all meant to use your hands. Any tools that you can use are what I call upgrades, but the lymph tool that you need are your hands and your breath. And as I said, I even work with quadriplegics, so you don't actually need your hands. If you can't use your hands, you can actually just use your breath and your mind's eye. It would be beneficial if you could at least use your hands, or have somebody use their hands on you if you are a paraplegic or quadriplegic.
All right. Catherine Grace said, how can allergic reactions like sneezing be supported with your program?
I'm giggling because I had a 24-hour cold this week. I have never sneezed so much in my entire life. I said, I think I hurt my jaw because I sneezed so much, and they were like violent sneezes. And it's just, I've never had a question about sneezing in 20 years. And you asked me a question about sneezing right after I had this little cold of sneezing. It's funny. So sneezing is something trying to get out of, I said to him, it must be a rhinovirus because it was something trying to get out of my nose, right? So your immune system is really your lymphatic system. I mean, your whole body is your immune system, right? Your body's, whether it's in fight or flight, is your immunity from, the saber-toothed tiger. But if your body's in parasympathetic, it's also your immune system to identify what that pathogen is in the lymph node or that toxicant, and then to get it out as it pumps from the lymph down into the cardiovascular system. Then we breathe it out, most of our toxicants. We pee them out, we poop them out, we sweat them out, and if you're a menstruating woman, you bleed them out. Any ejaculation, any fluid coming out of your body is a way for the body to excrete toxins. When you sneeze, your body is going, pff, pff. It's like trying to get rid of the toxin because it's stuck up in the nasal passages in the turbinates. So that is a lymphatic issue, and the body has to drain out, then the neck before the head. So even though I was sneezing a ton, I was focused on my lymph down in my body, even though the symptoms seemed up here, which is why I'm going to teach you that kind of stuff in the 21 day, because most people try to chase the tail rather than go into the root cause. And when you work the lymph system, you've got to understand sequence, the proper sequence of how the body drains, and you've got to understand how the river flows so that you're never chasing yourself. You're creating space in a vacuum to allow things to move with the flow of pressure relief and the valve system that it works. It's a beautiful, easy system to engage. You just have to know how to engage it. It doesn't mean you never get sick. I just told you I had a cold for a couple days. I got to tell you, I had probably the most stressful time in my life from November 6th to January 5th till today. I had a lot of ancillary stuff going on in my life. And I finally we were finally done with it all, and we went down to the city in Philly, and it was just bitter cold. And I was outside and inside in the, hot inside because I had so many layers on, and then cold in the wicked wind outside. And I was a little suppressed in my energy because of everything I'd been dealing with. So I got a cold for 24 hours, but it didn't take me down for days. And I applied my lymph flow cream. I took a bunch of quercetin and zinc and vitamin C, and within 24 hours and about 39,000 sneezes, I was over it. Okay.
All right. Lisa Rickert says, if I'm already using the Flow Vibe 2 and following your tutorial on how to use it, do you think I still need the 21-day program?
So did you say Lisa or Lori?
Lisa Rickert.
Lisa. That was the one in the very beginning, I believe, that was taking Dr. Pompous' program. Yes. So, Lisa, here's what I'm going to say. It's a great question. When you, through the 4 stages of learning, if you're getting everything, if you feel like you're progressing at the pace that you want to progress with just doing my manual lymph drainage and the Flow Vibe 2 and the full body sequence that I teach in the masterclass, and you're making progress, keep going, girl. If you feel like I could go a little bit more, it could be a little bit more comprehensive approach to this, and I want to go a little deeper, then come on in and do the 21 day now. At some point, you're going to feel stagnant just doing the manual pump. But here's the analogy. If you have never had some nutrient and then you have it, your body's going to go, oh my God, it's so good. I feel so great. But at some point, your body's going to get tolerant to that nutrient, and you're going to need something else to stimulate it. That's what's happening with the manual lymph drainage. When you first open it up, your body's like, oh my God, this is awesome. And you get all these great benefits, and then you kind of stagnate. What I don't want people to do is get stagnant, because the lymph is the key. And if you keep going deeper into it, you will get even better results. So if you're still getting the results you want, keep going. If you're starting to slow down or you feel stagnant, jump into the 21 day and get moving through it, because everyone's going to need the 21 day at some point in your life eventually. That's what I'm going to tell you. Honest to God. I created this program for the 6-year-olds and the 86-year-olds and everyone in the middle. I created this for my mother that doesn't understand what I do at all, but somehow feels better after being with me for 9 days and doesn't understand why. To my 12-year-old who thinks I'm a crazy lunatic that just is woo-woo and just, talks too much about the lymph. And if I use the word fascia, it's like using the F word, the other F word in front of my mother. Fascia is like the F word to my son. So, you're never a prophet in your own town kind of thing. But I wrote it so that those two people that are even resistant to me would want to do this and know how their body worked enough so that they had what they needed so they don't need me. Because they don't want to learn from me, right? So I created this thinking about them and everyone in the middle, because everybody needs this, because we all live in toxic soup. And nobody should be living with symptoms that they don't understand and that they can't get rid of to get to the root cause of what their body's trying to tell them. And it doesn't matter if it's a physical symptom, an emotional symptom, what you think is a mental symptom, an anxiety symptom. This is all your lymphatic system trying to get your attention. It is the language of your body. And I am a great translator of that. And I want to teach you that language. And then I want to give you the tools to continue to translate that so that you can continue to walk over that bridge day in and day out. Your grandkids start to have an issue. You know what to do and you can help them through it. And when they want to learn more about it, you can get them to do the 21-day lymphatic system breakthrough, because they're ready to take that on themselves and make it a part of their lives so that they don't feel stuck ever again. And no matter whatever happens in their life, that they have a tool. It's like having a calculator when we didn't have calculators and we didn't know how to add things, and we're like adding on our fingers, and all of a sudden you got a calculator. That's the difference of lymphatic system breakthrough or not. Eventually, everybody's going to do the lymphatic system breakthrough. Remember when not everybody had a phone? I do. And now everybody has a phone. This is it. Everybody's going to go through the lymphatic system breakthrough. It's just a matter of when you're going to do it. I'm telling you that right now.
All right, Rebecca Lynn asks, can this replace colon, liver, and kidney cleanses, and can it address constipation, or will I require supplements?
Oh, good question. So 50% of your lymph is in your gut, and I would love to see them change the funnel. In the wellness world, they have this funnel where the colon's at the bottom, and I know that it should be lymphatics at the bottom, because when you start moving your lymphatics, it often will move your gut and your bowels. Will you still need some supplements? Potentially. You might need some silica, you might need some psyllium, you might need some probiotics or some enzymes. But the point is to do enough of the lymphatic system breakthrough practice that you don't need supplements anymore. Did you hear what I just said? You shouldn't need supplements. Do you know what an oxymoronic sentence that is? Supplements are supposed to be used for a supplemental time till the body takes over. What I see in this industry is that everybody's dependent upon what should be called, they should be called dependents, not supplements. And if we're dependent upon supplements, then we're not actually free. And if we can, when we teach you how your body works and how to open up your lymph and your liver and your kidney, because your liver and your kidney are floating in your lymph system. They're not the major players here. Your lymph system is the major player. Yes, your liver is one of your largest organs, but your lymph system is 3 times more fluid than your blood. It's a probability issue, right? And so the lymph is the thing. It's like the lowest common denominator. And so when you work on that and you create space, now the information that gets to the liver, the information that gets to the kidneys is more in alignment, more in coherence, and now they can function better. Regulation determines the physiology, not the other way around. It can work that you can change your physiology to move your regulation, but it's way harder to do it because you're going from the 10% to change the 90%. We work from the 90% to change the 10%. Does that help?
Yeah. That was all of our questions.
Well, I presume that those that had questions got answered and you went and registered, because this is going to allow you to make those changes in your life so that you aren't dependent upon protocols and so forth. And listen, it's not that I don't do things. Like right now, I've just started a Kelly Kennedy drainage protocol that Kelly made up because she had so much stuff in her cabinet. So she's like, I'm just going to do a protocol all on my own. I'm just going to create my own little protocol for myself. And I started it 2 days ago because I went through a weird period, as I just mentioned, and I wanted to drain some stuff out of my body. And so I'm putting myself through a 6-week little protocol. So I do seasonal changes. There's a big season here. It's my birthday month. I always do things in my birthday month around this. It's kind of like a cleansing month for me. So I do seasonal shifts and changes like that, but I'm not dependent upon doing a protocol so I feel well. Does that make sense? That's what we're looking to give you all, is the keys to the closet, so to speak, so that you can go in and access it whenever you want. And then if you want to upgrade it, you want to get even better, you want your liver work even better, go ahead and do a liver flush or a liver protocol because you want it to be optimized, not because you need it to poop. Woo! That's a different way to live, isn't it?
Kelly, we did have one other question come in from a DM. Anonymous asked, will this program support those with lipedema?
Good question. So whether you have an edema, right, that's an inflammation, lymphedema and lipedema are differentiated between lipedema is more about fat congestion versus fluid congestion. But when you have lipedema, you really have to work with your fascia, which is what we focus on in week 2 is movement and fascia. If you are dealing with lipedema, I highly recommend get through the 21 day and then really focus on week 2, treating your scars and going a little more aggressive than most with your fascia movements, and absolutely get that liver. With week 2, we talk about a lot about the liver and opening the liver up and flushing, supporting the liver, I should say. And with lipedema, that's going to be key for you. So absolutely join us, and we look forward to watching your progress with that. And make sure as you do this, folks, a huge part of this is taking your before and after pictures, because things are going to change. And I love pictures, and you're going to love pictures too. And even if you don't think you're going to share them now, take them, because when you can see the difference, it is so validating and it keeps you motivated to keep going. Because you always forget. Oh, it couldn't have been that bad. I wasn't that swollen. And then all of a sudden you see that picture like, oh my God, I really was that swollen. Oh my God, I really did have fortunes. Oh my gosh, I really did have 3 armpits coming out of my armpits. Okay. Well, I really appreciate everyone's time tonight. And Genevieve and Sarah, if there are no more questions for me, I'm going to skedaddle. I'm sure Genevieve or Sarah will stay on for just a few minutes and make sure you all have the link. Anybody that joined us that wants to share that you joined, I would love to celebrate as you join us. I don't have access to the board right now to see who has already registered, and sometimes it might take you a bit more. Lisa joined us. Well, welcome, Lisa. We're so happy to have you. And Terry, welcome. It's going to be so fun. Listen, I can only tell you these Q&As are only getting better each time I do them. And I'm really excited that you chose to work with me, because I forgot to ask you this at the end. Let me start here, or let me end here. You just said skedaddle. Oh, I'm so glad. Skedaddle is what helped you. That's really funny. At the beginning of tonight, I asked you, did you want to know more about lymph? And I really, really trust and pray. Did you learn more about lymph tonight? Let me make sure I can see everybody. I want to go back to where I can see all the hands and the things. Did you learn more about lymph tonight and reframe a little bit more about the lymph systems? Awesome. And the question becomes then, do you want to work with me? And do you understand the kind of person that I am? That's really what your question becomes. And if I'm not the person for you to work with, I honestly, please find somebody to work with you for your lymphatic system, because it is the key to everything. It is the pathway. And it will always give you, like, I'm all about return on investments for our time and our energy. And the lymphatic system gives you the best return on your investment. So find somebody that's knowledgeable, that's got clinical experience, that's done a lot with the lymph system, so that you're not going to be led astray, because there's a lot of ineffective tools out there. And really find the effective tools that are comfortable with you. I am certainly not everybody's flavor. I really get that. And it's okay. You might be more in flavor of Sarah. A lot of people love Sarah's work over mine. A lot of people love Genevieve over me. I'm okay with that. I don't need to be the one that you love. I need you to be the one that you love. And that starts with your lymph system. Because that's how you really heal, when you fall in love with yourself. And when you start to take care of yourself, like you love yourself more than you love anyone else. And when you teach others in your life how to do that, that's what's going to change this world. That's what is changing this world. And this is so much more than our healthcare. This is so much more than that. And I'm truly grateful to have every one of you that has joined us, from Lisa, and I saw somebody else. It's very hard for me to read some of these names because it's very dark. Thank you.
Clute.
Thank you. I didn't have my glasses on tonight, obviously. So I really am honored to have you all on this journey and destination in your home. And as we end tonight, may this decision you've made tonight to move forward show up for you in every aspect of your life, as you have now begun the real walking yourself back home. May you be abundantly, joyfully surprised and delighted all along the way, as we get to know each other, and as you get to know yourself, and as you feel safe to finally release what you've been holding on to. I love you all, from my heart to yours. I will see you on January 26th to February 14th, and probably beyond that too, because we'll be in the flow forum together and all that. Thank you, Genevieve and Sarah, for being here tonight. I know I didn't give you a lot of time to talk, but thank you for being here, and I will see you all soon. I will leave, but leave it open. Yes.
Yeah, we'll give everyone one more minute with all of the links that we dropped as we go silent. So anyone that still wants to register, please join us. You can find all the links in the chat. And thank you so much for coming tonight.
Sarah, this is Lisa. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So I've signed up. I know it starts on the 26th. Is it kick off with another live event, or is it just like tutorials that I'm going to get via email? Like,
So
is this a login to participate kind of exercise if there's a scheduling conflict, or?
Yeah, so you'll get some like precursor emails where you can do some like some of the prep things. There's some like assessments that you can do online. So all of that will come into your email. And then we have a call on the first night, and then each week, and then the last night. So I think that it's 4 Mondays in a row, actually, that we have a call. So all of those dates will go out, but it will be consistent each week. And if you can't make any of those live calls, there are recordings that get uploaded into the portal. But before, on that like day 0, you'll get videos where I give you like a portal tour. So by that day 1, when you kick off with us, you'll know like how to access all of your things and how to get to all of the videos. But we've made it fairly simple in that, other than the live calls, you really will just get 2 emails a day, and all you have to do is click on the link in the video, and you'll get your morning practice and your evening practice. And then you can go into the portal if you have additional time each day and start to plug away at some of the other things that
Hey, buddy, ready for your bath?
I'll meet someone. So we'll walk you through everything, but the live calls will be recorded, and you'll get everything delivered to you, so that we can kind of get you started beforehand and then follow you throughout the whole thing.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the explanation.
Yeah, I'm glad you're joining us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, anyone else? I'm gonna go dark. Any last
I have
question?
one more question.
Yeah.
This is Kayleen Clute.
Hi.
Hi. So, so at some point, not specific, but we will get an email that tells us what to do next, and it will come from where? Like, do you know what email address? Because
I
I don't,
believe
I'm not an email person, so I've got to figure out how to.
sure. Genevieve will verify this, but is it Kelly at the True Wellness Center?
It is. It's from Kelly at the True Wellness Center. And I believe it's 2 to 3 days prior to the start. You will get, hey, just a reminder email. Here are a couple things like walk through, getting you ready and prepared. And then starting on the 26th, you'll get the first email of the sequence. Prior to that, in that first email, you will get the link to join in on the first launch live Q&A, which I'm blanking on the date.
I think
Of
it's that first day. I think it's January 26th is a Monday.
It is, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So,
Yeah, and that's like our day zero. And those calls are really, they're very interactive and they're really there to answer all the realms of your questions. Like if you have questions about the practices, we address that. If you're lost on how to access your portal, if you don't know where to get the assessment, like all of the questions that you could have, we made those calls really the support and the accountability so that if there's any part of it that you are lost on, we are there with you to clarify whatever you need us to.
So when I registered, I ordered whatever that tool is called, the lymph tool or something.
Oh, vibe. Yeah.
Okay, Flow Vibe. Vibe. Okay. So that's just like since I did that with when I registered for the class, that's just something I could expect in the mail in the next week, 2 weeks. Does it come just before the class starts or something? How does that usually work?
It will ship out. It won't ship out necessarily. You'll get it before the class. It won't coincide with that. It will just coincide with our shipments. We have someone in the office that ships things out a couple times a week.
Oh,
So depending where you are, it shouldn't take very long to get to you.
no, I'm in Maryland. I'm not far from you guys, so
Yeah.
okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you so much. I guess I'll see you guys more soon.
yeah.
Oh, you'll see. You will see lots of us.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so much
right.
for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I just have a question about the Flow Vibe
Sure.
tool. Can I get that? I don't have to order it today for the 149. Is it always that price?
It is, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Terry, I thought you were talking about the 21 day.
The what? No.
In
You
your
answered that. Yeah, actually, yeah, because well, when I hit a link, it came to the ebook, and I don't even know about the ebook. So for 9.95, and that came before the registration. So now I'm like, all right, the flow tube and the ebook, do I need those right now before I start the class?
I would say start class. And as Kelly mentioned, all the additional, additions are
Yes.
upgrades. So
Yeah. Okay, so I can do that later for the same price. It's not going to go up or anything, correct? Okay. And it's the time is 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Mountain Time, so it'd be 5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
If you can't attend live, all recordings I will be uploading the following day to the portal.
Yeah, no, that's a good time for me.
Yeah, and I think we kept it pretty consistent. I think it's every Monday at the
Mhm.
same time. So it's consistent each week. Make it easy for everyone to join us.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Yay.
ladies.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Anything else that we can help with? Anything at all? All right. Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us for the night. I know that we ran a little over. I really appreciate everyone spending a little extra time with us. Oh, I'm seeing from Dorothy, email for Kelly. Kelly at we kept it very simple for all of our emails. Kelly at thetruewellnesscenter.com, but I'll put it in here as well in case you're a visual person as I am. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off after I give a moment for her to get that email down. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We hope that we see you in the 21-day lymphatic breakthrough and have